Today I'll be discussing the vegetative state and DNRs, do not resuscitate orders. From my understanding, the vegetative state, PVS, is where someone is in a long, unresponsive cognitive state or low responsive cognitive state, allowing for complete diagnosis of being bed rest and being provided life-sustaining medicines and breathing machines, things of that nature. From my understanding, it is very expensive. If you're not a family of high income or middle class or the lower class, you will face issues when it comes to paying for your loved one, if the case be, having so much time in bed rest, which can cost extremes amount of money. So most of the times, the best option would be to allow that person to pass away. I believe that the best is to do having that individual and most immediate family, being spouse or close relative or close family, any close family member or friend, allows them to be more inept in a certain way to have the best decision made for them. We have learned that it can cause problems. It can be much of a problem amongst families, and that long-term decision can be an issue. We have also, through my studies, I've found that through my research, that mostly it has to do with low diagnosis of PVS, and the vegetative state can be hard to diagnose, especially when physicians are not aware or not adequately trained, or face barriers. They could be language barriers, it could be barriers related to their specialties, things of that nature. And that can allow you to fully understand that even if it happened to be that an individual is in a persistent vegetative state, there can be more done, being that it's only about 66% of individuals who have recovered from being in a vegetative state or comatose, they will already have some sort of neurological or brain functioning disability, and they likely won't be the same. And oftentimes these individuals are on bed rest for a very, very long time. That could be months to years to decades. So most people would not seek to live that kind of lifestyle. That has to do partially with tying into DNRs. Partially what I'm trying to say here is from an Epicureanism perspective, we want to look at the idea that pain, living life with the least pain possible, or seeking a life that without pain, it can be much of a problem having that fear of being resuscitated, for example, and then having a major physiological, neurological disorder, and having to face those issues related to related to your condition, and that can leave you with much of pain and discomfort. And being the case that DNRs are accepted in every state in the United States, it happens to be that in Japan it is not legally permitted and is often frowned upon. I am pro DNR. DNRs can allow, like I've mentioned, can allow people to experience a life without pain, and I believe many people would agree, especially in Western countries that we live in, especially being the U.S. So I have gathered that as being pro DNR and applying Epicureanism to the vegetative state, I've concluded that most people would say that it brings pain and therefore it should be permitted. Either DNR should be permitted, and that being people in a vegetative state should be in the hands of their most immediate family.